Hello and welcome to Ogun State Television News at 8. I am Adibola Oshomuji. First, the highlight. President Bola Tinubu boosts Nigerian Air Force combat capability with induction of 2 Augusta helicopters. Governor Dapo Abiodun inspect Okemoson power plant towards adequate power supply. Federal government allocate 80 billion naira to upgrade Unity secondary schools across the country. And on the foreign scene, Ukraine and Russia far apart in direct talks, but prisoners swap agreed.
And also to come up tonight on the news, Nigerians' foreign reserve gained $364 million in 2 weeks. I'll bring you details of this and more stories on the business segment of the news. I am Opeyemi Adeomi. Don't go away.
And from the world of sport, UEFA accuses Gianni Infantino over Trump tour stages FIFA Congress walkout in Paraguay. I am Emmanuel Dasado, and I'll be bringing you details of this and more on the sports segment of the news.
It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. Not to forget that you can watch us live on Facebook at Ogtv and Ogun State Television, YouTube at Ogtv Abeokuta, and on Ogtv website www.ogtv.com.ng/live. For the latest news and reports, you can check us on these platforms: X at Ogun TV, Instagram at Ogun State Television, or download OGTV app on Apple Store and Google Play Store. And now to the news. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has inducted 2 brand new Augusta 109 Tracker helicopters into the inventory of the Nigerian Air Force (NAF) to boost its combat capability. The induction ceremony held at the Presidential Air Fleet apron in Abuja marked a key highlight of activities commemorating NAF's 61st anniversary. The President, who was represented by the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, praised the commitment of the Nigerian Air Force in advancing national security objectives and assured continued federal support for defense moderation. Tinubu described the NAV as a signature of operational excellence and a source of pride for Nigeria. It's that the procurement of the aircraft further underscores his administration's resolve to prioritize the fleet modernization and the welfare of members of the armed forces. The President said security remains a top priority of his administration and assured the military of continued support in line with the 8 priority areas of the Renewed Hope agenda. Here in Ogun State, the state government secretariat at Okemoson, Abeokuta, and the legislative quarters in Ibara Housing Estate will be disconnected from the national grid and reconnected to an independent power plant built by the state government. Speaking during an inspection of the 1.1 megawatt power plant, Governor Dapo Abiodun explained that the power plant was put in place by the government to supply 24 hours electricity to enhance workers' operations at Okemoson and to provide an alternative power supply to government quarters. Governor's Office correspondent Yusuf Ganiyu reports.
The 1.1 megawatt power plant that would serve as alternative power supply to the state secretariat and government quarters was conceptualized by Governor Dapo Abiodun to ensure 24 hours electricity supply. Governor Abiodun said the power station would also complement the Onijogo power plant at Eriko local government in order to solve the epileptic power supply affecting the Abeokuta metropolis.
And I'm very pleased with what I have seen. What we have here is an independent power plant. The first module, which is a 1.1 megawatt power plant that is gas-fired, is a dual power plant, meaning that it can run on gas and it can run on liquid fuel, but in this instance, the gas requirement is compressed natural gas.
While thanking the civil servant for their perseverance in the face of the recent epileptic power supply at Okemoson, Abiodun described the workers as partners in progress, whose contributions were immense to the achievements of his administration.
I expect that our people will be very excited because they can now work in the offices under a more conducive environment where there's uninterrupted power supply. Again, promise made, promise kept.
Yes.
I want to thank our people for the patience they've had whilst this has been in process. These are one of the many goodies.
The head of service, Mr. Kende Nosoya, expressed appreciation to the governor for building an independent power station at Okemoson, saying it is a welcome development in addressing the problem of power supply affecting the state secretariat. Nosoya also thanked the state workforce for their patience and resilience during the recent power supply disruption, saying now that the power is being fully restored, it is expected that all MDAs will return to full operation strength while maintaining high level of dedication and commitment to the service of the state.
Don't forget that power is very, very essential when it comes to enhancing the smooth operation of government business. So I want to seize this opportunity to thank His Excellency for matching his words with action. The entire public service, civil servants in Okemoson, we are so elated, we are so happy that power is back. He made a promise and he fulfilled that promise. He's a promise keeper, and I want to assure our civil servants that we'll continue to deliver our best to enhance the smooth operation of government business, and Ogun State will be better for it.
He added that the governor has done well by addressing the problem of the power holistically to enhance the state's economy. Yusuf Ganiyu, Ogtv News.
The government of Ogun State has reared a riot act on illegal lodgers and farmers who are in the habit of destroying trees at the various forest reserves across the state for their selfish needs. Commissioner for Forestry, Engineer Taiwo Ludoton at Area J4, Ogun State, said corporate, including illegal village heads, who are always in this act, would be fished out and be prosecuted. Fowora Adesonwo reports.
These are the relics of what used to be viable Ogun State Forest Reserve, majorly located in the Ijebu East local government area of Ogun State. The trees are very much depleted and deforestation is imminent, hence the proactive measures of the Ogun State Ministry of Forestry to reverse the ugly trend.
We have farmers that do plant cassavas, bananas, and I don't think we have any issues, any face-off with the foresters.
The Commissioner for Forestry in Ogun State, Engineer Taiwo Ludotun, has dispatched top-notch administrators in the ministry led by the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Adekunle Oyesanwe, who is also on the familiarization tour to forest reserves to streamline things and ensure best practices to keep the ministry afloat in its mandate.
We've been to Lukemeji, we've been to Arakoga, we've been to Tonje, and here we are. We've been to JCs today, and today we are here with the J4.
Dr. Oyesanwe's assignment is largely yielding good results, as most farmers and concessionaires have keyed into tree planting in several hectares.
And one of the reasons of coming to the field is to really appreciate what is on ground, and with that we'll be able to plan better. And you can see the effort of, we spoke with J6 farmers, they are planting, the farmers are planting. We charge them that they must plant trees because that's the main objective of Ministry of Forestry.
But it sounded a note of warning to fake village elves who have been planting cocoa afresh against the government directives to make the reserves exclusively for trees such as thick Iroko, Melina, and the rest. Some of the village heads say they have now turned a new leaf. Officials of Omo Wood, Smart Wood, and project manager of the government forest reserves speak on their efforts to rejuvenate the reserves.
And we have started In 2023, we planted 10 hectares. In 2024, we planted 20 hectares. In 2025, we are planting 30 hectares. All these are to Melina. But our plan is to go bigger than this.
This year also, we are going to establish about 100 hectares too. Maybe 20 hectares directly and another 80 hectares through Tongia farming.
We're expected to plant to replenish the already harvested Gmelina, okay, for sustainability and the progress of the ministry, to support the progress of the state and the vision of the ministry.
A stitch in time, they say, saves 9. Adefowora Adesonwo.
Proprietors of private schools in Ogun State have been trained on the adoption, processing and cooking of the unpolished and brown rice as a better option with high nutritional values over the fully processed and polished rice by TechnoServe as part of its effort to ensure healthier food for the population. The advocacy engagement and demonstration of the processing and cooking of brown rice is an initiative of West African Parboiled Unpublished Rice Project with Okun Rice as a supplier in the state was held at the Conference Hotel at Belkuta. Matthew Shomi completes the report.
With the improvement of the nutritional quality and promotion of healthier food system among the population as the end goal, using the education providers as launchpad, date advocacy engagement and demonstration of the cooking of brown rice has been put together for the proprietors of private schools in Ogun State by TechnoServe Nigeria through West African Fortified Parboiled Unpolished Rice Project. Country Director of TechnoServe Nigeria, Adesua Akimboro, in her welcome address said brown rice is more than a food option but a nutritional solution, adding that local rice millers are being enabled to produce healthier rice.
Is designed to provide whole grain brown rice to not just children, the young people, middle-aged people, anyone who eats rice. We want to help them realize the nutritional benefits of eating whole grain brown rice. And so the project is working with millers locally in the state.
Project manager of West African Fortified Parboiled Unpolished Rice Project, Avabawa, while presenting an in-depth project overview, highlighted how the initiative aligns with government nutrition priorities, supports local millers with technical assistance. Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Okun Rice, a supplier of brown rice in Ogun State, Dr. Abiodun Onolaja, said the agro-allied industry is ready to meet the nutritional requirements of the population through the consumption of the brown and unpolished rice.
Okun rice is a non-polished rice, rich in fiber, and it's good for the system. That means the digestive system is working fine with the hits of the fiber in our rice. And our 1 kg can bet to 6 adults we eat and they have a leftover. Elderly people, diabetes people, patients, and it's good for the children to grow.
There were good messages from the president of the National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools in Ogun State, representative of the program manager of Renewed Hope School Feeding Program, and others.
We don't know that we have been eating, waste products all the while. Bringing this kind of product down to us, the brown rice, in fact, we really appreciate it.
Participants were treated to an interactive cooking session for parboiled unpolished rice and testing sessions which allowed participants to sample the cooked brown rice and complete a post-engagement survey. Matthew Shoumi, Ogtv News.
Still ahead, federal government allocate 80 billion naira for infrastructure upgrade in 100 unity schools. More news and report after the break. Stay with us.
Hear that? It's the roar of the crowd, the pulse of champions, the sound of history being made. Ogun State is ready to host the biggest sporting event of the year, the 22nd National Sports Festival, Gateway Games Ogun 2024. From May 16th to 30th, 2025, the nation's finest athletes will gather at the MKO Abiola Stadium, Abeokuta, and other sports centers in Ogun State. 33 sports, 36 states, and the FCT. One goal: to rise, to compete, to win. The world is watching. This is our moment, our time to shine. The stage is set. Gateway Games Ogun 2024, a celebration of sports, unity, and culture. Host, His Excellency Governor Dapo Abiodun. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn, àjọṣe gbogbo wa ni.
Whatever you need, whatever you love.
What makes every order special?
Joy to show, Junior, they give you so much.
The fact that it births new beginnings, inspiring us to express every shade of who we are.
Whatever you need.
It's the joy each order brings. We know this, and that's why for whatever life's needs you may have, Jumia is here for you. Download the Jumia app now. Jumia, joy delivered.
Welcome to Ogun State, a land of warriors and champions, where history is made. Ogun State welcomes the world as we host the 22nd.
Glad to have you on the second segment of the news. As Ogun State finalizes plans to host the 22nd National Sports Festival, we look at last-minute preparations as we are joined by Dr. Emmanuel Igbinosa, who is the chairman of Facilities Subcommittee of the event. Good evening, Dr. Emmanuel Igbinosa.
Good evening, madam. Good evening, viewers at home.
All right, I'm glad to have you on a news bulletin tonight.
Thank you.
Before we start our conversation, I would like to assure you that this is the right channel to educate our people on the importance and relevance of the upcoming National Sports Festival here in Ogun State. Okay. Now, the question is, what are the necessary measures put in place to ensure smooth running of the coming event?
Well, hosting a National Sport Festival or a sporting event of this magnitude involves a lot. And that is why we have several subcommittees set up at the beginning of the tournament, of the preparation. That is about almost 2 years now that we actually started working. The complexity of organizing a game of this magnitude involves getting the facilities that we host all the events. We have about 33 sporting federations that is participating here. We also need facilities that we host all the participating team, that is the Games Village. And this time around, all of them are at the Babcock University, about 10,000 of them. More than half has arrived as of today. And then you have to think of the transportation that will be moving all the athletes and officials from Babcock University to Abeokuta and then to other several places where the event will be holding. You have to think of the security of the athletes. You have to look at the feeding 10,000 athletes. That is about 33,000 meals a day. It's not a small thing to do. So all these are what are involved in the preparation for hosting a National Sport Festival of this magnitude.
So having these locations spread across Ogun State, how will you harmonize and also mobilize the athletes to the event, to avoid lateness?
Okay, we have the security subcommittee, we have the transport subcommittee. The transport subcommittee have worked out the programming, the schedule of movement of the buses. About 60 buses will be involved in the movement of these athletes, okay, from Babcock University to the Aziz of Remo, Ijebu-Ode, where we have the hockey venue, and then to Abeokuta, which we have that will be having about 17 of the sports that are involved in the National Sport Festival. So the buses will be moving on schedule, okay, and then the security people are also going to be piloting these buses to ensure that there is no lateness. And if you have gone towards the Abeokuta, Shagamu Aziz, there is a bad spot that can cause hold up. That place is being fixed. Even I passed there today.
Okay.
They are working seriously on it to ensure that there is smooth ride.
Okay.
And then even if you don't take that route, there is another route that you can take to bypass that particular side, going through the Illusion Aziz. So all measures have been put in place to ensure that the athletes will not get late to their venues, because buses will be moving at intervals.
Okay.
And it's not going to be allocated to a particular state. Anybody can enter any bus.
Okay, are you saying the location, aside the location, the accommodation itself, are you accommodating them in the state capital here in Abeokuta? Then you now mobilize them to like Elisho, Jebu, to various centers, sporting centers?
No athlete, no official that is participating, that is accredited for this game is going to stay in Abeokuta.
Okay.
All of them are in Babcock University. All of them.
Okay.
It is those that are not accredited to stay in the games village that will be residing in the hotels.
Okay, so they move all the way from Elisho, Babcock University,
yes,
to their various centers.
Exactly.
All right, that's beautiful. Now, I want you to picturize the opening ceremony. How is it going to be? Because right now, it's a countdown to this sporting event.
Well, I don't want to let out the cat out of the bag. As we speak now, there are people at the stadium, at MKO Abiola Arena, and that's the new name, not even the complex.
Okay.
They are doing rehearsals there, trying to dot the I's and cross the T's. The governor has promised Ogun State and Nigerians that he's going to organize a very fantastic and befitting opening ceremony. And we are with that tomorrow. And from the little that I have seen, I can assure you that, yes, you'll be proud to be an Ogun citizen.
Wow. So you're optimistic that it's going to be a great success.
I'm telling you.
All right. Aside looking at the opening ceremony, and you've walked around Ogun State, you've walked around the various centers that we have, the earmarks for this sporting event. Now, I want you to be sincere enough to rate the state government for putting all these facilities into place.
I must tell you that I give kudos to His Excellency Dapo Abiodun, CON, for the kind of money, his personal touch on every aspect of the facilities provided for this game. If you have been to Ijeja, for instance, maybe 6 months ago, and you go there now, I doubt if you will recognize that this is Ijeja.
Okay.
Though it is renovation they did there, but it is total transformation. I'm telling you, it is like they reconstructed the place.
Okay.
And then if you go to MKO Abiola, it's wearing a new look.
Okay.
And apart from that, the facilities that were not in place before this time, like this a 50-meter swimming pool, which is the Olympic standard, is now in place. You have the 25 meters by 25 meters warm-up pool, which has never been there before.
Wow.
But for the first time now, Ogun State can host Olympic event in swimming. Then you have 4 new courts, Olympic standard tennis courts at the stadium there, at the MKO Abiola Stadium. If you go to the back, there is a cricket pitch, 2 cricket pitches, which have never been there before. And then you also have the Abula court that is being renovated.
Okay.
The tartan track is completely new.
Okay.
The field is completely new. And then you also have the beach volleyball at the back of the stadium.
Okay.
So the governor has done so much, and I must tell you that I give kudos to him, because he spent a lot of money and he personally supervised everything that was done there. So he did very well for the facilities, and this will even outlive his own administration. Other people coming can now build on it. So it's something that I am proud of, and I salute him.
All right, thank you very much. This aside, you making an inspection, and did you take notes of the capacities of these facilities in terms of people coming in, the number of people that will attend this event?
Thank you. That's a very good question, intelligent question. The capacity of the MKO Abiola Stadium, where the opening and closing ceremony will take place, as well as the athletics event, is about 10,000. And the number of athletes coming for this event is about 10,000.
Wow.
So the question is, if 10,000 athletes are in the stadium, does it mean spectators will not come in? Yes, spectators will come in. It is not all the 10,000 athletes that will be coming for the match past or that will be attending the opening ceremony, just about 1/3. So there will still be room for at least about 5,000 to 6,000 spectators to have a feel of the opening ceremony and to enjoy themselves, so that it will not just be athletes alone. No, there's still room for them to be able to watch the event.
Okay, what about the medical personnel in case there is casualties?
We have 2 levels of medical personnel. The MOC medical personnel and then the local organizing committee local medical personnel. The MOC is coming in with their own experts that graduates of sports medicine, those are specializing in sports medicine. And then the local, what I mean local, that is those that are based in Abeokuta, which is being supervised by the Ministry of Health. They are also going to be involved. Drugs have been bought, equipment have been bought, and then there are referral hospitals both at the Babcock University and in the city here. So in terms of medical preparation, the games is very, very ready, and we don't pray for any mishap. The medical personnel will be around to take care.
All right, thank you very much. We wish Ogun State a great success and a great outing for this coming festival, sports festival. Thank you, Dr. Emmanuel, for coming on our news bulletin tonight. In case you just joined us, this is Dr. Emmanuel Igbinosa, who is the chairman of Facilities Subcommittee of the event. Ogtv News continues. The federal government has allocated 80 billion naira to upgrade infrastructure in 100 federal government colleges known as unity schools across Nigeria. The Minister of State for Education, Professor Suwaiba Hamad, made this known in Kano during an unscheduled inspection at the Federal Government College, Kano. The minister explained that the visit was aimed to evaluate infrastructure, leadership, and student welfare. Hamad further said the visit was also aimed to assessing the teaching and learning environment, as well as fostering effective service delivery in the school. She noted that the interaction would enhance collaboration between policymakers and school management in addressing challenges and providing the necessary facilities. The minister also visited the Federal Government Girls College, Kazuri, as part of efforts to ensure quality education across unity schools. She said the inspection visit were in line with the government agenda to revitalize unity schools and create an enabling environment for effective teaching and learning. The Department of Special Needs Education of Ogun State Ministry of Education, Science and Technology has trained not less than 150 teachers in special needs schools across the state on assistive technology integration in special education. Speaking while declaring capacity building workshop open in Abeokuta with the theme Understanding the Implementation of Inclusive Education Strategies for Supporting Diverse Learners and Role of Assistive Technology Integration in Special Needs, Commissioner in the Ministry, Professor Abayomi Arigbabu, said the training was another demonstration of the government to commitment to people living with disabilities.
Teachers in secondary schools, one of the most important things that we have is empathy. When there is no empathy, how do you train these children and ensure that you encourage them even through the empathy? That's very, very vital. That's very, very important. Let them feel loved and be loved. As teachers in this school, one of the most important things you should do is to try to be empathetic, and we should also be highly supportive of the children and help them to believe that they can contribute a lot to this society. that they are not left out in any time. They can write for anything they want in this world.
Remarks. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Mrs. Oluwatosin Oloko, stated that the purpose of the workshop was to improve teacher skills in the 21st century teaching methodology in dealing with the children with special needs, appealing to the people in the society to support the government towards providing necessary support. Earlier in our address, the Director of Special Needs Education, Mrs. Deborah Ugundimo, noted that the program was essential because it would help all the participants to have deeper understanding of the principles of inclusive education, improve strategies for diverse learners on the areas of their needs, abilities and learning styles, as well as understanding how assistive technology can enhance learning and accessibility for students with disabilities. In their separate presentations, a retired permanent secretary in the ministry, Mr. Elijah Akinyemi, and Mrs. Maureen Ola Williams, congratulated the special needs teachers for being the beneficiaries of such an educative program, urging them to imbibe the knowledge acquired towards learners' improvement. Ogun State Government has commenced admission process for 2025-2026 academic session into its 42 flagship secondary schools across the state. A release signed by the Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Bayomi Arigbabu, stated that interested primary 6 completers and parents should follow the procedures for the application process by visiting the Ogistra portal via ogistraogunstategov.ng/apply and log in with the candidate learner's identification number credentials. The release added that parent or agent willing to register applicant from outside the state should click on Create Account button to register a profile for lodging. Select Screening Application under the Enrollment Management menu and click on Create Application for the Action menu. It added that learners should thereafter enter their link to validate their records or choose from school outside Ogun State from the filter to enter their profile details, explaining that applicants outside Ogun State are to submit a copy of their last 3 terms result for consideration before admission. The release indicated that applicants should click on the Make a Payment button to make online payment for the platform and registration at a total fees of 5,000 naira per learner, adding that they should fill and submit the application form as well as take the printed copy to the school of first choice for principal's signature in preparation for the screening test. The screening test will come up on Saturday, August 30, 2025 at the premises of Learner's School of First Choice, saying outside the state applicant would not be able to print their application forms after submission until lien verification is conducted on such application. Away from education, no fewer than 5,000 residents of Abeokuta South Federal Constituency have benefited from the second edition of the Mega Empowerment Program by Honorable Afolabi Afuakwe, member of the House of Representatives. Our correspondent, Benga Adekoya, reports that as part of the initiative, a block of 3 classrooms equipped with furniture and a borehole was commissioned at the Methodist Nursery and Primary School, Ogbe, Abeokuta. Similarly, a block of 6 classrooms was unveiled at St. John's High School, Kuto, Abeokuta, aimed at improving access to quality education in the area. His report is presented in this package.
It was a busy day for Honorable Afolabi Maruf Afuakwe, member of the House of Representatives representing Abeokuta South Federal Constituency, as the long day journey began with the commissioning of a block of 6 classrooms at St. John's High School, Kuto, Abeokuta, a school he attended 40 years ago. Commissioning the project, the State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Bayomi Arigbabu, charged the students to be of good character for them to attain greater heights in the near future.
Talking about this project, our Honorable saw the need for him to also key into the agenda of our amiable governor.
A block of 3 classrooms and borehole was also commissioned at Methodist Nursery and Primary School, Ogtv, Abeokuta. New toilet facility at St. Peter's Claver Nursery and Primary School, Okeefon. With another toilet facility at NUD Primary School, Okealeji, Itoku, Abeokuta. After the project commissioning, Honorable Afolabi Maruf Afuakwe was at the Centenary Hall, Ake, to give account of his stewardship to his people, where he engaged stakeholders in all spheres of life. Giving account of his stewardship, Honorable Afolabi Afuakwe sheds more light on what he has been able to do in terms of giving dividends of democracy to his people in the last 1 year, promising more goodies for his people.
So we need to focus on agric. In those days before the discovery of oil, we rely on agric. Suddenly we felt we relaxed, and we are not pursuing this the way it ought to be pursued. And I'm thinking, if you have farm settlement that we used to have during our forefathers, Babaolo and the rest of them, when you have that, it will reduce rural urban migration. People will be there. They have economy of scale. If you buy tractor there, a lot of them can use it, so we can increase our production capacity. Not only that, you are not just producing as an agro-processing unit. If you are producing, let's improve on what you are producing, so to be able to make a better use of.
Before proceeding to the venue of the mega empowerment, the House of Representatives member also paid a visit to the Alaki and paramount ruler of Egbaland, Oba Adedotun Aremu Gbadebo, where he intimated him of his efforts to promote locally made adire to curb influx of Chinese and other fake products.
Member of the House of Reps representing Abeokuta South is that he should not change. He should continue to be what he has been, the lover of his people, because that's what God has made him all along. Although the Njeko Motara Eneko,
Ake Palace Ground was the venue of the mega empowerment, where refrigerators, motorcycles, tricycles, generating sets, grinding machines, among others, were distributed to beneficiaries.
Let's keep on supporting Honorable Afolabi Afuakwe.
Beneficiaries thanked Honorable Afolabi Afuakwe for gesture, promising to use it judiciously. Monetary empowerment for over 1,000 constituents were part of the second edition of Honorable Afolabi Afuakwe Constituency Mega Empowerment.
In continuation of efforts to decongest correctional centers in Ogun State, the State Chief Judge, Justice Mosumola Dikpeolu, has again released additional 32 inmates at the Oba and Ibara correctional centers, both in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. Some of those released include inmates in their 70s, a young man in his early 20s, and a woman, while the latest release brings the total number of inmates granted pardon to 67. Details of the second day visit in this report.
A breath of fresh air as 32 lucky inmates at Oba and Ibara correctional centers regained their freedom after being granted pardon under old age, health ground, among other factors. The Chief Judge, Justice Mosumola Dikpeolu, during the second day of our visit, approved the release of 20 inmates at the new Abeokuta Correctional Center, Oba, and 12 inmates at Ibara. The Chief Judge again berated the overcrowding nature of Ibara Correctional Homes, which currently house 1,400 inmates, but built to accommodate only 700 inmates.
Only one is old age, and of course the DPP says he has no case to answer. The others, they've been in custody for so many years. They should go back into the society and be good citizens. We have their records. We always tell them, if you come back, you will not be lucky the second time. So we implore them to be of good behavior.
To facilitate their integration into the society, members of a non-governmental organization were also on the ground to apply for possible bail conditions of some of the inmates and empower those granted pardon to be self-reliant. Controller of Correctional Center, Ogun Command, Abioye Adeshino, observed that The new Oba Correctional Home, with a capacity of over 800, is now currently housing 999 inmates.
Learn a lot of occupations here, a lot of skills, in which by the time they are going back to society, they can be able to work on that. And before they go, we will still talk to them.
The legal associate of one of the NGOs known as Friends of Joseph Foundation, Barrister Timileyin Adediba, lauded efforts of the Chief Judge and the State Ministry of Justice in decongesting correctional centers and assured of readiness of the foundation to empower some of the released inmates.
The foundation has been a part of the process over the years, and we've looked after released inmates to follow up on their transmission into the society, and we've received news. It has been a great privilege to receive news of how they've been able to give back to their society and develop over the years, and we look forward to working with the recently released inmates as well.
The judiciary in Nigeria needs a special consideration to be able to dispense cases of awaiting trial and unnecessary delay by prosecutors, which are often responsible for overcrowding of correctional centers.
With a heavy heart and saddened soul, the remains of the fallen Ace broadcaster Olubukola Hanike Agbakizu were finally laid to rest after a funeral service held in her honor at the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Agape Parish, Olorunsogo, Abeokuta. Family, friends, colleagues, and sympathizers came in their numbers and bade the notable journalist and unionist their last farewell after passing on to glory on Monday, 12th of May, 2025, aged 51 years. Olaide Oloye reports.
From the People's Tele Ogtv here in Abeokuta, we welcome you to our comprehensive news package of the day. I am Bukola Agbakizu.
A once household voice that resonated across most homes through the year space when casting the news on Ogtv, but that face has gone to the world beyond. On the fateful day of Monday, May 12, the die finally cast when the news of her demise went viral like a shockwave. Indeed, a bitter pill to swallow by many who knew her. Olubukola Anike Agbakizu, born on the 10th of February 1974, was a seasoned broadcaster, reporter, newscaster, producer, and an active union member of the Nigeria Union of Journalists and its female body in Awoj in Ogun State. In all, she was a passionate and magnificent mother, sister, daughter, friend, and hardworking woman who loves to infect other people with a serenading smile and sarcasm while alive. Sadly, this moment was a time to weep and mourn the demise of Bukola Agbakizu, who passed on at the age of 51 years. The Redeemed Christian Church of God, Agape Parish, Olorunsogo, Abeokuta, was enveloped in grief as family members, past and present colleagues from Ogun State Television, Abeokuta, and other media agencies, as well as the government functionaries, converged for a funeral service, signaling the last leg of a sojourn on earth.
At the process of your life, from the period you live, did you choose life? Have you chosen life? Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and life. No one goes to the Father except through him. Bukola went through an emotional torture, yet she stayed. She remained with Jesus. She chose Jesus and remained with Jesus. What about you? A message, or whatever you call it, a sermon, exhortation, whatever you call it, a talk, during the funeral service is meant for the living, not for the dead. It's for the living, not for the dead. Have you chosen life? Whether you like it or not, one day you will enter your house and somebody will carry you and your leg first out.
thereafter laid to rest at the church cemetery at Idiokwe along Ogtv Road, Abeokuta, under an atmosphere of emotional outbursts.
Very, very sad and heartbroken. Not only to me, but to my family as well, because it's a very huge loss. And I will miss everything about her because she's a very, very wonderful person, a friend in need. She sacrificed her needs for me and my sister.
It was painful and it was very sudden. It still feels like a dream, but I know that she's resting in the bosoms of the Lord, so I've accepted my fate and ready to move on.
The life and times of the departed, according to sympathizers, was full of enormous dedication to God, family, and humanity.
Bukola was a very dedicated member of our club. She was such a person that dedicated herself to ensure that everybody was okay. And so it's a very big shock to us. I don't think we're going to ever get over this.
She is a very gentle, warm, and godly person. She really talks and she loves all. We miss you so much, and all of us that are set, and for 99 Marcos set, we said good night.
Bola's death is a big blow to all of us. All of us are colleagues, journalists, within and outside of the state. She is a tremendous asset, and her passing at this time is a big blow.
She left behind 2 children, siblings, and parents. Olaide Oloye, Ogtv News.
Next on the news is business news. Stay tuned.
This is Ogtv.
On business news, Nigerian External Reserve has recorded a sustained rebound for the first time in 2025, rising about $364 million between April 30 and May 14, 2025. This marked the first consistent 2 weeks upward trend in the country's foreign reserves since they peaked on January 6, 2025 at $40.92 billion, according to the latest figures published by the Central Bank of Nigeria. The gross external reserve stood at $37.934 billion on April 30 and reached $38.298 billion by May 14, reflecting a 0.96% increase in just 14 days. The new trajectory comes after months of gradual depletion and volatility, largely attributed to intense pressure from external debt repayment. The Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, Binga Komalafe, has said that Africa will require more than $600 billion annually in upstream oil and gas investment to meet its fast-growing energy demands. He added that Nigeria is well positioned and fully prepared to attract a substantial share of the capital inflow needed to power the continent's development sustainability. Komalafe stated this in London at the 2025 edition of the African Energy Summit, where Nigeria presented a suite of new initiatives to roll investors and deepen exploration in its upstream oil and gas sector. He also said that the transparent bid rounds in 2022 and 2024 have repositioned Nigeria as a global investment hub for oil and gas. The Nigerian Bureau of Statistics released its Consumer Price Index report for April 2025, revealing a slight easing in Nigerians' inflation rate compared to previous month in the same period last year. The headline inflation rate moderated to 23.71% year-on-year, marking a decline from 24.23% recorded in March 2025, and a sharp reduction from 33.69% in April 2024. On a month-on-month basis, the inflation rate dropped sharply to 1.86% in April 2025, down from 3.90% in March. This indicates a slower rate of price increase across consumers' goods and services during the month. And that's how far we can go on the business segment of the news. We now go back to Bola for the rest of the bulletin. Do stay with us.
This is Ogtv.
And now to scene, more than 3 years into Europe's deadliest war since 1945, there was a small step forward for democracy. On Friday, delegations from Ukraine and Russia came face to face